Monday, the 27th of July, and it's another edition of SportsView. Good evening, Derwin.
Hey, Pat, how you doing?
I hope you like the graphics at the beginning of the program. It's all down to our wonderful person behind the scenes, Mary Holland, there, who designed all our own work, but we like it.
It's good. I like it. Yeah, it's a bit of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's good. It's modern, as they say. We have the usual suspects. We're on live, streaming live on our Facebook page, LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel. And you can comment straight into the studio as well on any sports events around during the week. And on the show tonight, we'll have a final, I suppose, comment on the World Cup. And since it's dying down now, and we'll be looking at the world's oldest professional soccer player. He's playing with Fukushima FC. He's 59 years young. 59. Yes, you heard it here.
He scored.
He did in their 5-0 win. I mean, he's a fit man, to say the least. We'll be looking at the Formula 1, golf. We'll be taking a tip of Colin Montgomery, speaking about his top courses for the Open, and I like Montgomery. He shoots in the hip, and speaks his mind. Very, very like Laura Davis. That's why I like her on the golf, on the very, very woke Sky Sports channel. It's appalling altogether.
Monty's a really good guy. He's a bit misread sometimes.
He is, yeah. But I like him. I like that. I like that. But we have to begin. Anybody who lives in Ireland, the two biggest sporting occasions in Ireland in our sporting calendar. One happened yesterday, was the All-Ireland Senior Football title, and the hurling was played 2 weeks ago, which we covered. But I have to bring this from, I think, Australia, an Australian TV company covered it. If I can find it now, yes, I have.
Now, we don't cover a lot of Irish sport, but we've got to tell you about County Mayo's win in the Gaelic Football Championship.
The side cracked a 75-year losing streak, and locals believe it ends a curse imposed by a Catholic priest back in 1951.
Fans live for moments like this.
75 years of heartbreak is over!
County Mayo's win tasted so good at Dublin's Croke Park.
Generations of Mayo people have lived and died and not seen what you are now seeing on your television screens.
Nor listening to on the radio.
The famine is over! The famine is over! The curse be done!
They were celebrating because, as legend goes, County Mayo was cursed. Last to win the Gaelic football title, the 1951 team, who disrupted a funeral procession on their journey home. The priest damned them. Mayo would never win another title as long as they all shall live. The last player from that squad died in 2023. With that, Mayo is back.
We're on top of the world. We can't believe Mayo did it, but we were behind them all the way.
And it means so much.
All the jokes about Mayo being losers. Delete, delete, delete.
You'd say there's nothing to this curse thing, but then you have to think, hang on a minute, didn't the last person who was supposed to be cursed die? And didn't that lift the curse? And didn't they come and win?
It all stacks up.
Never stop dreaming. Stick your chest out and be proud to be from Mayo.
And tonight, they're proud. Hewittfeld, 7 News.
There you are. There's a clip there about a historic event. Just no doubt you were watching on BBC. Were you, Darren?
No, I didn't see that. I would have watched it because it's another one of those crazy games, isn't it?
Yeah, it was shown on BBC Two. And hi, Joe. Good evening.
Hey, Pat. How are you? Hey, Darren.
And 1936, 1950, 1951, and 2000. 2026. So that was the Mayo footballers. They waited 75 years to win their title. Not quite as long as Limerick Hurlers. They waited 43 years in 2018 when they won their All-Ireland. So there was Mayo lost 11 finals in the interim as well. 11 Ireland finals. I was at the 1989 final against Cork, and they were really a fabulous team, but they just lost it. Anyway, thank God for that. But anyway, they succeeded. They succeeded yesterday against all the odds. Not one single pundit, not one single newspaper, not one single media outlet tipped Mayo. Every single one of them went for Kerry. Kerry were going for their 40th title, but that's it. And we have let me see. We have a commentary here.
We're 45 yards to the county goal. It's Colby. He's got Tommy Conroy. Tommy Conroy's in for a goal. He's got Colby. Yeah! Tommy Conroy. Oh my God! He sent it over the bar. Oh my God! Delirium.
They have to get a goal.
It's over. There's 30 seconds. There's 5 seconds to go.
Yes, and the bell is on play. Thank you, referee.
The famine! Yes! The famine is over! The famine is over! The curse be damned! Hit the nuclear button! Mayo have won the All-Ireland! Sam McGuire is coming home!
Oh my God! Almighty! Wonderful!
Oh my God!
What a match!
Oh my God!
What a match!
Mayo have done it! Oh Martin, 75 years! How on God's earth can you sum this up? Oh my word!
That was just, I tell you, I cannot get over this.
All the expats from Australia, New Zealand, the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and all over Europe were in Croke Park yesterday. They were in Castlebar this evening to welcome them back to Castlebar. So there you go. And I think if anybody is around on holidays and they want a free drink, go to any pub in Mayo and wear the green and red jersey and you'll be flying it. Anyway,
Hey, Joe, there's a rumour that you're in Ireland. You look like you're more in California, mate.
No, I'm not in Ireland anymore. I'm back.
Ah, okay.
But the weather was like this last week when I was there. So, yeah, it was more like the Costa del Sol than the Costa del Kilkee.
Now, the World Cup soccer, as we know, is over. The World Cup, but there's still a lot of fallout from the World Cup about simply some action to be taken against Argentina. I know we've heard it before, but I'm reading the weekend newspapers, and I didn't realise that with Argentina, the whole team and officials turned their back on the Spanish team when they were being presented with the cup, which to me is appalling. It's appalling visual to see for anybody who's interested in the game of soccer. You know, you could say they brought the game of soccer into disrepute, as well as the referee. You know, you could say as well. You know, but however, hopefully they'll take the right action. You know, Infantino said to the media over the weekend, people should go away and meditate and pray and not be complaining about the game of soccer. That was Infantino's take on it.
He wrote that was on Instagram. He wrote 15 pages of that on Instagram.
That's 15 pages of drivel.
Yeah. God, it's appalling altogether. If you have any comments to make, you feel free to do so. You can make them straight in here to the studio on any topic you like. Now,
so all the conspiracy theories are out now about the referee because he's retired. He retired the day after.
Well, the referee was appalling referee. There's no other word for him in the final. When you look back at it, the oldest soccer player playing professional soccer is playing with Fukushima FC in Japan. He's 59 years young. He scored the goal over the weekend in their 5-0 win, and he said he intends to play on till in his 60s. You know, but he's a very fit-looking 59, I can say. You know, he's Matsuyoshi Miura. That's his name for anybody who's interested in that.
It was easy for you to say, wasn't it?
I know I've written down in block capitals. I've been reading his name all day in front of a mirror.
Joe, fancy getting your boots back on?
Yeah,
But he's he's a character as well. Now over the weekend we had the 3M Open Golf Championship over in the United States, and 25 under won it. A rook was his first professional win. Jackson Coivum. He beat Scotty Scheffler into second place. 25 under, 64, 68, 61 and 66. Astonishing scoring, Darwin. Astonishing.
I mean, we say it every week. I mean, honestly, they are really good players. And if you
Come on. His first win at 61.
no, but if they're all good players, and if you put them on a golf course where they can whack it at the stick and it doesn't, you've only got to go and watch like the big tough majors, like the Open. Go and watch the US Open when they trick it up, but they make it as penal as they can. And
Anyway, Seamus Power, our own Seamus Power, was in that competition, and he finished at minus 17, which is a good score. Who could win many competitions. Imagine 68, 68, 63, and 68, and he only came sixth at minus 17. He won $250,000 on it for himself, but that was Seamus Power. In the Live Golf over in England, over in JCB course,
JCB course, yeah.
Lucas Herbert, minus 30.
Yeah.
Minus.
But they will rip that apart. That is a proper members club. I mean, they will take that apart.
61, 66, 69, and 62.
Yeah.
And Till Hatton was third, 66, 68, 67, 63. Anyway, Lucas Herbert won it, and
it's good to see him. Good to see him win that because he played well in the Open, didn't he?
He did. He carried his form in, yeah. He carried his form in. And in the Women's Scottish Open, Ginny Shin from Korea won that at minus 9. 66, 67, 71, and 75. A bit more sedate, you could say. Leona Maguire at last had a bit of form. She finished at minus 1. And 4 rounds in the 70s, reasonably well. And Johnny Kelly won the Scottish Seniors Open, as you know.
Yeah.
Johnny Kelly at minus 10. Harrington and McGillney were down the field in that. But it was his third win in the Seniors Open, I think. But he won that. We have a clip here about Colin Montgomery talking about different courses.
So I picked 2 in Scotland, which is fair, and I've given you English 1. The best course is Turnberry. Everybody sees that. And it's such a shame that it's not on the open rota, right? I won't go into why, but Trump Turnberry is the best course. Okay, this is probably number 2, Birkdale, Royal Birkdale, and I would think as an open venue, I think Carnoustie would be number 3 because it's tough, and I like the toughness. I think it's just the hardest one. I think there's certain holes that you can't fly the bunkers. You've got to feed between them, and that to me is and. It doesn't, again, there's no bad hole at Carnoustie, my God, it starts off with a tough par 4 and doesn't stop and finishes with 1. I think the finish at Carnoustie is incredible. 15 in, 15, 16, 17, 18 are just tremendous holes. Anything can happen, and anything did happen, of course, famously, in 99. But Carnoustie, yeah. So I've picked 2 in Scotland, which is fair, and I've given you English 1. Turnberry's our Pebble Beach. Turnberry's our Cypress Point, Turnberry's our Pebble Beach. And you stand on that 7th tee, and you've got in front of you, down the coastline, you've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, before you come back inland at 12. But that stretch of holes is as good as any worldwide. Sometimes when, course designers come in and change I preferred it the way it was, or whatever. No one has said anything about preferring the way it was, and now they've changed it again, because they've changed 7 and 8 again from the first changeover. So they've done a great job with it. The setting is superb. The hotel on the overlooking the whole scene. I just think Turnberry's, and I think it's ranked now, isn't it? I think it's ranked back to number 1 in Britain. I think Turnberry, and it deserves to be that way. I think it's just tremendous.
What do you think of that, Darwin? Do you like those courses you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, all three of those are, like he just said, they probably are 1, 2, and 3. The only one you'd probably add to it and would give it a run to be Royal St George's down in Kent.
It's appalling measure of the golfing fraternity that they would blacklist a golf course because it's owned by Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, it's politics, and it's pathetic.
It is pathetic, carry on, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, the strangest thing about Turnberry is Turnberry used to be an RAF base.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you got, when you play the other course, you still got parts of it that that the runway is still there. They use for access for tractors and mowers and everything.
Yeah?
But you can park. You must be able to park 30,000 cars on that other golf course. So as a venue, it's got everything. The only thing it struggles a little bit with is accommodation away from the actual hotel there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the only thing that, if you said there's a weakness, it would be that.
Is there a campsite?
Yeah, you got campsites and caravan parks and different things.
Yeah.
But if you said, hotels and different things, but, the players would all stay at the hotel anyway, so it's not a bit like Carnoustie. They all stay at the hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not. It is a good. It is pretty. I mean, you've seen it there with sunshine on it and blue sea and everything else. You don't want to see it in January when it's blowing an absolute totally across it.
Well, the Irish Open is being held in Doonbeg, Trump's course in Doonbeg.
And I heard a rumor that he's coming over to play in the Pro-Am.
There's a rumor going around, all right, that he is, and I wouldn't put it past him,
And you know who he's gonna play with in the Pro-Am?
No.
Bryson DeChambeau. DeChambeau's already said that I'm coming over for the Irish Open.
Yeah. Well, DeChambeau is a very amenable golfer, and he's a personality that lends itself to that on the course, DeChambeau himself,
It was nice to see. I know they were all American pros, but all the American pros backed him up, saying he wasn't cheating and he didn't, that was accidental and what have you like that.
Well, our big mouth golfer here, our big mouth blew his mouth off. What's his name? McIlroy.
I think most of the Ryder Cup team have gone at it because they've already started the wind-ups, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. It'll be interesting to see the Ryder Cup, how it will pan out in Limerick, just on the road from us, in a dear manner. And I don't know what kind of a team we'll have. That's Europe. I know, I forgot to look at the thing. I
probably won't know half of them.
Huh?
I probably won't know half of them.
In Europe, the Europeans?
Think about it. The three of us can sit here, and there's 3 different levels of golf background, isn't there? Between the three of us. But I bet if I said to you, can you name some of the players from 1985 and 1987, 1989, you could probably name the team.
Yeah, with a bit of thought, you could, yeah.
But if I asked you, who do you think's going to make the team for this Ryder Cup?
Well, there's only one name I'd say straight away. That's McIlroy.
Yeah, Lowry.
Lowry probably will, yeah.
And now I'm now going like that.
Till Hatton.
You'd like to think so.
Yeah.
Matt Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, and Rose, Justin Rose.
I'm not sure if Justin Rose will make it.
Yeah.
Or if he'll be his last one as a player, I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's hard to know what's going to make the team. For our audience members, we have a job for you. Next Monday, we want you here. We want your Ryder Cup teams submitted, and in time,
Okay.
we know Luke Donald is the captain. We know that, you know.
So, what about the guys that are playing for Live? Are they eligible to play in it?
Oh,
They are,
they
they are eligible, but
John Ram. Will John Ram
Yeah.
make it?
they're carrying a different set of points. You know that world ranking points thing.
Yeah,
So live events are getting like a third of what a European Tour event or a US Tour event gets. So they're kind of penalising the live players and making it harder for the live players.
they've paid their fine. John Ram and all them have paid their fines, so-called fines, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you've got Aberg, you've got the two twins, the two Dutch kids.
High guards,
Højgaard, that's it.
yeah.
But you wouldn't. It's not going to reel off the tip of your tongue, is it? Like the
No.
8-7 quid or.
Well, the Americans will have Bryson DeChambeau anyway, and they'll have Scotty Scheffler. They'll have the two of them.
It's fascinating with Scheffler, isn't it? Because his putter's gone really cold on him, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think
He did it.
he finished quite high at the Open, and he was missing loads of putts.
He missed a load of short puts, very short puts, you know, which is unlike him.
So it either means it's all going to click eventually, and he'll just steamroll again.
Well, he'll want to get his putter kicking for a dear manner, you know. It won't be like the carpets they're playing on in America.
So, with somebody like that that's missing putts, I mean, is it psychological or is it technical or is it a combination of both?
It'd be a combination of both, Joe, because it's not necessarily the technique. It will be the technique with what's going on between his ears.
Yeah.
And then there'll be an element of it that he's probably not playing as regular as he would have done once upon a time. So he's picking when to play now.
Yeah.
But also he's probably not getting the pace right. Because if you watched at the Open, he was horseshoeing a lot.
He was?
He was catching the edge of the hole. Which that isn't technically like, that's millimetres out or a couple of mil out. But the pace is killing him. Because if it was softer, the ball would have fallen in rather than thrown out.
Yeah,
So
I know what
he's probably sitting on a putting green somewhere working on pace all the time. But again, like had examples for it, because you've got wind going on those greens as well. So that could be not an excuse, but there's a reason why he might have not putted so well at the Open. But
I mean, isn't it the same as every game though? If you're not playing regularly, then you lose a little bit of it.
Yeah, he's definitely lost a little bit. I don't think he's lost like tee to green.
Right.
But I think around the green he's definitely not as good. He's not making the right decisions, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the most important part around the green, isn't it?
Yeah. You drive for show.
I mean, it's won and lost there.
Yeah, but if you also look at his stats, I was looking at him the other day. So it was just something that like having played, your brain was going, what's he not doing? And what he's not doing is hitting it as close to the flag as he used to.
Yeah.
So he's putting now from like 15, 18 feet for birdies, whereas before he was putting from 8 feet and 10 feet for birdies.
Yes.
So
if
he gets a roll going on 8-footers and 10-footers, his confidence is going to go like sky high. But when you putt 18 feet, 18, 20 feet is just on what I would call the 50-50 mark. You're going to make as many as you miss. From 10 feet, he's going to make 75% of those and only miss 25%. So his ratios, he's like, it's either going in or I'm missing. Whereas when he was 10 feet away, it's probably going in. so his mental approach to it is slightly different as well. Because when you look at it, when he hits a really bad putt, he looks like he's dribbling it rather than putting it in the hole. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It
And
looks like a dribble going off the putter head rather than a positive whack on the back of the ball.
Well, it's a little bit like a goal poacher not getting enough balls into the box for them to pick up the bits and pieces, and they're having to shoot from outside the box now, which makes them more difficult for them and less effective. So yeah, it's.
I mean, whenever I've been coaching really like good players, lads on the tour, one of the things I'd always do on a putting green was lay out X amount of balls. It might be 20 balls, about 3 feet apart. And you'd start at the one that's a foot away from the hole, and then you'd keep going back and back and back. And you suddenly reach a point where they start missing. And you suddenly go, well, this is the area you need to practice. But also when you're playing, you suddenly hit 1 to 15 feet, and your brain has already gone into it's a bit of psychology that we just said. Your brain goes straight into do not free putt.
yeah,
So you get a
yeah,
bit defensive on the putt, and then 9 times out of 10 you miss it. So it goes into that 50-50 bracket.
yeah,
But the 50-50 miss could be because you don't have a free putt. Because you're suddenly reaching the zone. Now, on that exercise, you might get 40 feet away from the hole, and then the role of the exercise then is to get that ball within a dustbin lid. Not
oh yeah,
hold it. So as a player, you suddenly get going and you go, I'm 10 feet, I'm 10 feet, 10 feet all the time. And you start, your confidence level goes like a rocket because you know you're going to hold more than you miss. And if you look at guys who are shooting 62, stuff like that, if you look at their putt ratio, yeah, they're 1 putting. Of course they are. They're not 2 putting or 3 putting because they wouldn't have a 61 on their card. But you look where they're hitting the ball to, they're hitting it for 6, 8 feet all the time. So as you come back away from the green, the second shot or the approach shot, whatever you want to call it, they're tuned in to they're getting it close. So that's giving them a different attitude when they putt. Because from 10 feet, they're not really going to free putt it. So you suddenly stand there and go very. When you knock it 40 feet away, your brain, you're walking up the green or walking up the hole, and you suddenly go 40 feet away, don't 3 putt this. And that's like a negative message. So that boring,
just whack it, just whack it. Now there's a proposed boxing match coming up between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Both fighters had warm-up fights, if you could call that, over the weekend. They both won, but Anthony Joshua's fight was on last night. He was fighting a big guy, a big, huge guy from Armenia. And he knocked down Joshua twice in the first round. And I was, I was saying, God, a million pound payday or plus against Fury. But in fairness to Joshua, he got up, got on with it, and knocked him out cold in the second round. And Fury won his fight as well, Tyson Fury. So they're both penciled in. I don't know where the fight is. It's going to be in Wembley, is it?
No, they think they're trying to get it into Wembley.
Yeah.
Villa ground's been mentioned because it's in the Midlands, obviously.
Yeah.
They've even talked about being at Everton's new ground.
Oh yeah.
But the money from Matchroom is coming into Jeddah.
So how many times is this they've fought now?
I don't think they have they?
No, they never fought each other. They never fought each other.
They've never had a ruck between them. They've had verbal ruck.
Yeah, they never fought yet. But
no.
it is truly a 50-50 fight. There's no doubt in my mind at this stage of their careers, you know.
I think if you looked at the pair of them as a bloke, as a person, you'd probably say that the longer it goes, you'd probably say Joshua's fitter, wouldn't you?
You would say that, but then the heavyweights are a funny breed in that because I mean you can imagine a man, a reasonably fit man, 20 stone weight hitting you a punch. I mean that's a hell of a belt. That's a hell of a belt to get.
I think if you said where's the quick win, you'd say Fury, wouldn't you?
You would, yeah, you would. But
But what I mean is, if it gets to the last round, you're probably going to fancy Joshua more than just a bit level, aren't you?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fight for money. That's what it is at this stage with the heavyweight, the way the heavyweights are gone. Nobody could name the top 10 heavyweights in the world right now off the top of their head. And I've been following boxing all my life, and there are names popping up I'd never heard of, you know. I mean, when you have a guy like Usyk, a light heavyweight at best, called the heavyweight champion of the world, holding 3 belts, you know that boxing is in serious trouble. Very, very serious trouble, you know. When he was given 2 or 3 decisions that clearly he should never have got, you know. And it's just appalling carry on in the boxing world.
I think the boxing world's changed drastically, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I bunked into Wembley to watch Marvin Hagler and Alan Minter,
Yeah,
and to me that was an era where they were really real boxers.
yeah.
Whereas now, to me, it's all a little bit showbiz, isn't it?
Well, it's showbiz. Money has and television coverage. Well, the Herons haven't been very good for boxing, you know.
Well, I don't think Eddie Hearn's exactly a giver. I think he's more of a taker in life, isn't he?
Bit of a tug, yeah.
I think he takes things out of things rather than puts things back.
Yeah.
But I don't get the boxing scene anymore because I like listening to boxing on the radio. I can't watch it anymore. I listen to it on the radio so much better.
Yeah, I think when you were talking about Alan Minter there and Howard Winstone, do you remember him, Howard Winston? And as you said, Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns and what's his name from South America?
Oh, Duran.
Roberto Duran.
No, Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh man.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, they were real boxers. And what we can't forget, one of my favourite men, he was known as the Beast. What's his name from Ghana? Mugabe, is it? John the Beast Mugabe, yeah. He was very good boxer, you know, very good.
Think about those heavyweight bouts from the 70s and with Foreman and Frazier and Ali and all of those. I mean, you've got to. I mean, they're not the same now, are they?
No. There's about 10 world champions, and nobody knows who they are.
I still wouldn't want to get hit by any of them, but
No, you wouldn't want to get hit by them, but by the same token, these guys are not household names like those guys that you just talked about.
No.
I mean, you mentioned Joe Frazier, and everyone knows who it is. George Foreman.
Yeah.
You know, guys like even Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You know, and those.
Well, to me, in my opinion, I would say the last heavyweight champion of the world was Mike Tyson. From 83 to 89, he was standalone, unbeatable. And after him, the whole thing disintegrated. I mean, Buster Douglas, who beat him? People can hardly remember his name now, you know?
Yeah.
And,
well, wasn't Lennox Lewis around that time as well?
Lennox Lewis was a very underrated heavyweight. He was a brilliant boxer. Brilliant boxer, you know? Lennox Lewis was just a brilliant boxer.
All the boxers themselves, when you ask who, I've seen a couple of programs where they ask some of the old boxers, as in who was the best boxer you've seen? Lennox Lewis is always one of the first names out.
He is a brilliant boxer. I love watching him. I love watching his fights. He was just fantastic, you know. 100% every time he went out, 100%, you know. He
I
was
mean,
just,
got Evander Holyfield.
Yeah.
yeah, he wasn't too bad, yeah.
I mean,
Flash, a bit flash, but he was alright, yeah.
I mean, Hagler was something else, wasn't he?
Oh, man. There was more boxers avoided fighting him than fought him.
Yeah.
And that'll tell you how good he was, you know. That'll tell you how good he was. Because you can't forget Rocky. Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Who was the other one?
The Italian stallion.
There you go.
Apollo
Oh, is
Creed.
it?
Question for you: before Usyk, and he's a light heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
Had a light heavyweight ever won the heavyweight title before?
Way back in the 40s and 50s when there was a boxer called Billy Conn. Billy Conn, I think, was his name. But one of the earliest, greatest heavyweight champions of the world, in my opinion, and hardly anybody ever mentions him. And I think he was just a fabulous boxer. I only saw black and white of his fights because they're only black and white then, back in the 30s and 40s or 50s. Gene Tunney. Gene Tunney was a fabulous boxer, you know. I know historically there's a question about he won the fight against Dempsey, the long count. The reason for the long count is Jack Dempsey didn't go back to his corner. He caused the long count himself.
Yeah.
He didn't go back to his corner, but that's in the history. But he was a fabulous boxer, and he retired. And as well as that, he kept his money that he won in his fighting career. He kept his money, and he was a very good businessman, and lived very well, and was a good businessman as well. You know, if you read his life story. Another guy that's mentioned a lot is James J. Badder, the Cinderella Man. There was a very good. Oh, we're getting Mary. If you're watching, we're getting a compliment in to your new visuals on the program. The visuals are
Oh,
all
Joe, you haven't seen these, have you?
the new cartoon figures.
Introduction?
Huh?
Joe hasn't seen the new introduction.
You see,
No, I
see
haven't.
no,
Joe,
you see it down the end.
it's
But
on.
yeah,
Joe looks about 15 years old, doesn't he?
your dog is there. But in Formula One, we had the Hungarian Grand Prix over the weekend. Lando Norris won that from Verstappen, and Antonelli was third, Charles they're fourth, and Hamilton fifth. The standings for the drivers is Antonelli is in first place with 219 points. Lewis Hamilton is going into second place on 169. Russell is in third at 160. Charles Leclerc is at fourth at 138. They're the four drivers in the running to be champion this year. You know, 49. He's 49 points. Hamilton behind Antonelli, which is 2 wins. You know, because it's 25 points to the win. So you know, he's doing very well. And Luke Littler, that darts machine that's known as Luke Littler, won the World Match Play Players Championship over the weekend. He beat Gavin Price 18-9 in the final. £225,000 he won for that. For throwing darts. I mean, I don't know. We were all taught the wrong thing going up, I think. Anyway. So far, he's accumulated in prize money alone now. This is not sponsorship. It's prize money alone. Wait for it. In pounds sterling, 3,145,500 sterling. I mean, what is he? 19 or 20? 21?
Didn't he?
19 or something? It's just phenomenal. The
Gerwin,
Shanghai, huh?
Gerwin Price came out with a great comment. They asked him
Yeah.
what he's got to do to beat Luke Littler. He said, "You got to nick one of his darts."
Just leave him play two, 3. And now Gerwin Price was playing fabulous darts himself,
Yeah.
fantastic darts. But I mean, you could see. I mean, every time he got near getting the check out, Little just walked up, bang, 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 and that was it. The leg was over.
I thought
You
that
know?
was such a funny comment.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
How'd you beat Luke Littler then? You got to nick one of his darts.
Oh dear me. Take your put out of the bag, yeah. And Tadji Pogacar won his 5th Tour de France. He became 1, 2, 3, 4. He became only the 5th person to win 5 tours. And he's an incredible cyclist if you're into that, you know. Jacques Anquetel, Eddie Merckx, Bernardino, and Indurain, and now Pogacar. They're the 5 men who've won 5 Tour de France. You know, it still is.
We don't count Armstrong anymore then.
Who? I don't know who he is, but he.
He had a big contract with Boots, didn't he?
Yeah, he's in the same. Yeah, yeah, I know. He made a few mistakes in his son. He had a few blood transfusions too many. But I mean, really, I think it has.
Did you see him go up the mountain the other day, up that really steep one I was telling you guys about a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he went up it like he was like flat. I mean, it was, and it's like.
I think after this tour, I think cycling has regained some of its respectability again. I think it has, and deservedly so, because you can't knock every single cyclist because of their appalling occurrence with Lance Armstrong. You know, it was just.
Catcher is really interesting character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like the Tour de France, the doping ban at every stage is like 14 buses long. And Pikachu goes and gets dope tested, even though he hasn't been called to get dope tested.
You know, to be honest, I think they should all do it.
It would be.
I mean,
wouldn't it?
If you're going to have random ones, then why aren't all the? Because someone will always play the odds. I won't get called.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was my girlfriend's toothbrush or whatever.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
That and
our friend in tennis, Sinner, it was my massage. He massaged the cream into my back. It was contaminated. I mean, that was like Alice in Wonderland stuff.
You've got.
I think tennis the same way.
Yeah.
You've got to admire Pikachu for that. But the fact he just goes and gets dope tested without being asked.
Yeah, but there's no question about him then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and all these people, all the cyclists a couple of years ago, do you remember they had a sudden rush of, they were asthmatic. It was the medicine they were getting for their asthma. I mean, if they're asthmatic, why are they participating in the most grueling sport in the world?
I remember watching a documentary on a flight, and it was about the Tour de France. And they didn't name anybody, but they did say the Russian team. Actually, it might not have been about the Tour de France, it might have been about the Olympics. But the Russian cycling team were basically going back to their hotels and they're having complete blood transfusion. Because
wasn't there a controversy in the Olympics?
Yeah, when they were passing the urine sample through.
No, with Lassie Verne.
Lassie Verne. Lassie Verne between
Olympics
games never ran in other competitions. He only ever trained for the Euros, the Olympics, or the World. And he used to get the word on the street was that he used to get his blood replaced.
Yes, yeah, that's right. But nevertheless, you're a phenomenal runner. And
That Russian cycling team, they lost a couple of cyclists where the blood transfusions went wrong in the hotel room.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
They died, and then they came up with like heart attacks, and they had all the excuses under the world.
there was COVID. No, there was no COVID then, was there? There was
But
no
then
COVID then.
the but the blood transfusions had gone all wrong. They
Wow.
died. They died on their beds having blood transfusions.
That's,
Jeez. Oh, Jesus.
but I think that one about the Russian guy that defected in the finish, and then he told the story of the systematic doping that the Russian. What was that called again?
That they were taking they were, well the doctors and that were supplying the urine tests for the athletes, and the athletes ones were going into another cupboard sort of thing. And it was nothing to do with the athletes. It was doctors who
It
were
was
the
called
sample.
the Icarus Project.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was it. Yeah, and isn't there? Yeah, isn't there one world record still held by one of these German sprinters from 1983, Marita Kopp? Her record still stands, even though there was always a question mark about it. They still left it on the books, and it hasn't been bettered yet. You know, in sprint, women's sprinting.
I mean that was like an industrial level doping, wasn't it?
It was pretty serious, yeah,
Yeah.
routine. I don't know what it is about the human, you know. It's you know, you of course you without making it sounding like making excuses. An athlete's career is a short one, can be short, time wise, can be 4 or 5 or 6 years, you know, because it's like golf. I mean, when you started off playing golf, you could hit the ball maybe 250, 300 yards. There's some of them hit it now 450 yards. I mean, if you
Well,
can, if you,
I've told you before. I mean that day I was with Bryson DeChambeau and his coach and the
yeah,
Puma guys and the Cobra people. I stood next to the bloke and I've watched him fly it through the air 400 yards. I mean, I counted it, and he didn't do it once. He did it probably 20 odd times.
What did he use? A 5-iron?
He was hitting drivers, Joe. And
Yeah.
the Cobra rep was telling me, like, he will go through a Cobra driver, so it's made out of titanium. It might
yeah,
have a titanium body and a carbon face.
yeah.
He'll crack one probably once a month.
Wow.
And
My
Sam
my
Corrigan, I
my
had,
my son and then the lads follow the golf a lot, and they go to a lot of tournaments. But they were telling me, I was wondering, they were telling me if you're on the tee box and watching, say, McIlroy, the sound of the ball, the sound when he hits the ball with the driver, is like no other golfer. The
there's only
sound,
one other person makes a louder crack, and that's DeChambeau.
yeah,
I mean,
he's,
it's like a bullet going off. It's a
yeah,
crack.
yeah. It's like a shotgun.
And I kid you not. I mean, to carry the ball 400 yards, that is seriously up in the air. That isn't, and I don't mean it's high. I'm talking it stays in the air a long time to carry 400 yards.
It has to.
You think about kicking a ball from the floor like a goal kick,
Yeah,
and they get it into the other goal mouth. That ball has spent a lot of time, hang time, hasn't it? It's spent a lot of time in the air.
yeah,
And that's how you make carry, right? So you launch and everything else. But I at first I looked at the launch monitor. I'd seen it and I'd watched it, and he pitched it into the roof of a hotel at the bottom of the driving range. And I've got laser sights, and I measured it to the window below the. It was like 420, and I thought, right, there's something gone wrong with my lasers. And then I looked at the launch monitor, and it was like 421 or something. And I've gone, that can't, that, like, really? Then he did it again. And then he was trying to hit it over the roof of the hotel. And I remember coming back and saying, I was playing with Sam Torrance. Torrance said to me, what's it like when you stand next to him? And I went, the only word I can use is violent. It's a violent movement. It's not
Natural.
it's not graceful. He looks like he is going to pound the living hell out of it. But you don't realize how big he is until you stand next to him.
So again, when somebody is like that, is that from technique, strength, or working out, or has there ever been a question of what he's been doing?
When I first saw him start doing that, he was into that bodybuilding stage, and he looked the only.
I remember when he started, he was slim.
See athletes. To me, I've been lucky enough to go to some of the swimming events and different things, but I've actually been able to be like poolside on it.
Yeah.
When you watch those guys get out the swimming pool, they are like they are Adonises. They are gods. You want to kick them in the nuts because they look so good.
Yeah, like Michael Phelps.
I mean, they're ripped. I mean, they are triangles, right?
Yeah.
When I stood next to DeChambeau, he looked like one of those, but with bulging muscles rather than sleek toes.
Yeah.
Like Rambo.
Yeah.
And the Cobra rep was telling me that he was snapping graphite golf shaft under the middle of the grip. So when the shaft is at the top of the backswing, all the pressure is on this left thumb.
Yeah.
And he was snapping those shafts in half underneath the grip because when he pulled it, he was pulling it with so much strength that he was basically putting his thumb through the shaft. So they had to create shafts for him to go in his driver and his 3-wood that had that a golf shaft is at its thinnest underneath the grip.
Yeah.
So they had to ask one of the shaft manufacturers to make like a triple wall shaft
Down.
but keep the weight out of it. It's too heavy. And they basically created like as the shaft goes down towards the head, the wall of the shaft gets thicker and thicker and thicker.
Well,
starts off like a massive hole at the top of the grip, like that.
Yeah.
And then it gets down to where the shaft goes into the hole.
Yeah.
You can barely see the hole. But they have to reverse engineer it so that it was thick at the bottom, but then they had to thicken it out at the top to keep the middle in its normal thickness.
Yeah.
And he was popping shafts like it was going out of fashion, cracking heads on a carbon-faced titanium head, cracking it from hitting balls, not throwing it against the wall, but actually hitting balls against it.
So, Darwin, would you say that both DeChambeau and McIlroy are the longest drivers in golf today?
On tour, yes.
Yeah, on tour.
Not the longest, as in who hits the ball the furthest.
Yeah.
Because there's guys who are on that long drive tour who hit it 500 yards.
Yeah, there's a long drive competition every year. I know that. Yeah.
I mean that's like every week there's a tour.
Yeah.
For that, and those guys, I thought. I mean, DeChambeau went and played on it for a while.
Yeah.
To prove that he could mix it with Amboy. In Florida, and they are launched. They're thrown.
Oh yeah.
But they drives, they've only got to get one
And that-
inside the width of a football pitch.
Yeah.
Which you'd like to think you can do that. The width of a foot. Imagine trying to hit a ball outside of Wembley Stadium. That's actually
Oh yeah.
good.
When I first came over here to Tacoma,
Yeah,
I came over for a week, and Freddie Goodwin, who was our coach, Freddie
yeah,
coached Birmingham City. He was the guy that gave Trevor Francis his debut when he
yeah,
was a 16-year-old. And Freddie took me to a tournament at Twin Lakes Golf Course up here in Federal Way. And they had the golfing gorilla up there as they brought him in for the tournament.
Yeah.
And that guy could just like hit the ball like you wouldn't believe.
go away.
They had him on the driving range, and he was just hitting it miles.
Yeah.
It seemed like, and yeah, and then I watched a little bit of the thing that you were talking about there when that some of those guys' longest drive competitions, and they were just like, and you're asking yourself, why aren't those guys on the tour?
Yeah,
Because they probably don't have the control that the other guys on the tour do. And it was like, I went to the NSCAA convention over in Baltimore. That's National Soccer Coaches Association of America, biggest soccer coaching organization in the world. And they had a guy called Mr. Wu, and he was doing soccer tricks, right? And that guy could do everything but make a ball talk. I mean, the things he could do with a soccer ball were absolutely unbelievable. But he'd never played a professional game in his life.
yeah,
He's making a fortune off of these appearances, doing what he does, and it's
yeah.
fair play.
I played a few years ago. I played with one of those.
Doing what Maradona and George Best did on the field.
I played in the middle
Anyway,
with one of those guys from the long tour.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. I mean, he shot like 92 or something.
Yeah.
He was in the way if you're
Yeah.
being blunt.
yeah,
He slowed everybody down.
Yeah, but the one that went straight. I mean, me and this other American pro. His name was Tom Panisse, the other American pro. Played on the tour. He won the US Seniors Open.
Tom Penreese, oh yeah.
Tom Panisse, yeah.
Yeah.
And Tom Panisse and I think we knocked it round in a couple under par. And this guy hit one drive where Tom hit 8 times into the green. He knocked it on the green. We both stepped off the tee and went,
Yeah.
but that made his day.
Yeah,
I
right.
shot 92, where if I shot 92, I'd want to hang myself.
Yeah, you see that's the difference between us and you. That one shot is the one that brings us back to play.
Yeah.
If you were only hitting that once round, you'd say, "No, I'm never playing this game again."
Yeah.
Walk the tears. Yeah.
I mean, it was. I mean, he stood on the first tee, and like we knew who he was. He was a Canadian lad called Kelly Murray, and he was the long drive champion. And you know, he had my driver's 49, 50 inches long. He's using one that's 56. He's standing in another field to address the ball on the first tee. It's gone off, and it's gone like 3 fairways right of the first fairway. And like Tom and I have hit straight up sort of middle-ish, like
Yeah.
really.
It's impressive.
We've come off the tee, and the lad who was caddying for me was a referee on the European Tour. He looked at me and gone, "What's over there then?" And I went, "I've got no idea. I think it's a ball." And he's gone, "How's he going to get back from there?" I'm like, and Tom Panisse has turned around and he's gone, "That's just the start of it. There's going to be another 17 of those." Yeah. Really, we literally stood there. And it was funny. We got to the first par 3, and it was about 180 yards, which is like a 5 or a 6 iron, right?
Yeah.
And he's pulled out like 9 iron. And you're looking it's a pro thing. You look inside their bag to see what they're hitting and stuff. And he's pulled a 9 iron out. And I just kind of chuckled to myself, thinking, that a 9, right? Upside down 6. I mean, what's and you can see from the loft of it. Anyway, he's hit 9, like, I don't know, 30 yards left of the green with a 9. So it was just bizarre. But you know what I just said there? And that reminds me of a story about the Italian Open.
Yeah.
This must have been late 80s, early 90s. Playing with Bernard. And we get to a par 3 at Monza Golf Club. And he's up first. And there was a bit of, the wind was moving around a bit. You couldn't quite, it wasn't really into you. And then it was across you. And it was always one of those holes that was always right in the middle of your clubbing. So it's either like a 5 or it's a hard 6. It was one of those, right? You were right in between clubs. And he was up first, and he hit this tee shot to about 3 feet. And me and the other lad have literally like trying desperately hard to look in his golf bag, and his caddy's thrown the towel over the top of the bag so we can't see.
Yeah.
And we are like, and Bernard Gallagher has copped me looking. And he was the pro at Wentworth then, and I was at Cocktails just round the corner, right?
Yeah.
And he's looked at me and he's gone, oh, bloody hell. So he's turned the club upside down and pointed at me. It was a 6. And I can't tell you how hard or how soft I hit. And he was, you know, he'd just go, what a great comment. As in, I'll show you what it was. Oh, they'll separated it. I mean, it was, so we've all taken 6s out, knocked it on the middle of the green. The other lads knocked it like past the flag towards the back of the green. But he was walking up the hill and he was like, you boys will learn. But yeah, I mean, those guys, I mean, like you said, that golfing gorilla bloke, I mean, they launch themselves, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have Bryson DeChambeau over for the Irish Open with McIlroy. So it should be a sight to behold on Doonbeg Golf Course. That's the next big golf tournament up here for us here. Of course, we're all looking forward to next year to the Ryder Cup, but I mean, Sinchke Ella. So we've come to the end of another
I'll have a bet with you now.
We've come to the end of another sports year. So from Darwin, Joe, and myself, until next Monday night. Yeah. So Joe, watch out for the graphics at the end.
Can we see the credits so Joe can see his?
Yeah, you can see them all now. So from the three of us here, we'll see you next Monday.